The White House has confirmed a steep increase in steel and aluminum tariffs is going to take effect as of midnight. And after that announcement, a reporter asked Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt why President Trump is increasing those tariffs, given that business leaders want certainty when it comes to trade. And here's what she said.
You also have U.S. business leaders begging to meet with this president and begging to come to the White House to talk to him because they know that he is a negotiator in chief, that he's making good deals on behalf of the American worker and the steel worker, in particular when it comes to the steel and aluminum tariffs, which he discussed in his speech at length at Pennsylvania and the need for them.
Okay, let's dig a little deeper into this with CBC's Sasha Petrusek, who's in Washington. Sasha, take us through exactly what is supposed to happen tonight.
Well, Sarah, the tariffs are supposed to kick in. They will double from 25% to 50%, and those will apply to steel and aluminum imports coming in. That's the order that Trump signed this afternoon. Now, this will apply to metals coming in from all countries, and it could hit Canada especially hard since we're the biggest supplier of both metals to the U.S., were last year. More than $11 billion worth of aluminum shipped here in 2024, more than $7 billion worth of steel shipped here. Now, the order excludes only one country, and that's Britain, whose tariffs will stay at 25%, not the increased rate of 50%. Washington's negotiating a separate agreement with the UK. Now, the idea about this seemed to come straight from Trump himself, who came up with the amount and the deadline just last Friday, so just a few days ago. And while this is part of the whole list of tariffs that Trump has imposed and threatened, triggering a big court battle down here underway, challenging his right to unilaterally order any tariffs. But at the moment, this increase is not part of that challenge. And so it is set to go into effect tonight, and it's not clear when it would be reduced, if ever.
Sasha, what's your sense of President Trump's rationale for the tariff hike? Do we have any clues?
Well, it's hard to pin down the rationale for many of his tariff increases. He's ordered so many, and he's paused many of the other ones for reasons that don't always seem clear. As we heard from Caroline Leavitt earlier in that clip, the White House says these are meant to increase U.S. negotiating power with trading partners, to force concessions by the negotiator-in-chief, as she called Trump. Speaking to Pennsylvania steelworkers last week, Trump said it was in order to protect their jobs. That was his rationale. Listen to this speech from Friday.
We are going to be imposing a 25% increase. We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America, which will even further secure the steel industry in the United States. Nobody's going to get around that. So we're bringing it up from 25%. We're doubling it to 50%.
So that rationale seems to be to protect jobs, to bring the industry back to the United States, steel production, aluminum production, et cetera, et cetera. But it's also meant, according to the White House, to get partners to the table and to make concessions. And if that's the idea here, he's not getting the reaction he's expecting. A number of countries, key countries like Korea and the UK, have opened negotiations, but other key partners have not. I'm thinking of China. It's been slow to come to the table, not confirming that Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping will speak this week, as the White House is suggesting, and not stopping export controls on rare minerals, which the U.S. desperately needs. The EU, the European Union, is also saying the tariffs are unhelpful, and it's threatening to retaliate, not to negotiate. Sarah?
CBC's Sasha Petrusek in Washington. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, let's talk about the impact these tariffs could have on the steel industry. And for that, we're joined by William Slater. He is the president of United Steelworkers Local 2724. It's a union representing steelworkers at Algoma Steel, joining us from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. It's great to speak with you, William, because I understand you've been a worker at Algoma Steel since 2007. What are your thoughts about this tariff hike?
Depending on how our Canadian government reacts to it, it's going to destroy us.
Wow, that is a big statement. You've already been dealing with the current tariffs in place on your industry. What's the impact been there?
So we've had temporary layoffs. Earlier this spring. Now we've got people that are on notice of permanent layoffs, and that's under the 25% tariff. So it's where everybody's afraid to see what the 50% tariff will do to our industry and to our place that we all work.
You talk to me about that fear that you're hearing from your colleagues. What are people saying, and what are they thinking right now?
Well, we have, especially with the young people, that we have a lot of young people that work at Algoma Steel. They've started their lives with mortgages and car payments, and now they're the first people that get affected by layoffs. So they're, feared for their future.
And they're all up in Sault Ste. Marie. How big of an employer is Algoma Steel in Sault Ste. Marie?
It's the biggest industry in Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So are they talking about, what other opportunities for employment are there if the worst, as you're describing it, does come to be?
Unfortunately, we have a lot of construction in town because of the EAF furnace that the steel plant was transitioning to. Once that ends, it's going to be very hard to find a job within Sault Ste. Marie. So people will have to start looking outside of the city.
I'm trying to imagine what it must be like to be, up north in Ontario, a job that you think is a steady source of employment, and then I'm just watching how, basically the wind blows from the United States and how things must or are likely to change for you and your colleagues. It's got to be frustrating.
It is. Hopefully the Canadian government can step in to at least stabilize the market within Canada. I think at this point in time, that's about all we can ask for, because I don't think anybody can predict what things are going to happen south of the border.
Yeah, so let's expand on that, because right off the top you said depending on how the Canadian government responds, it would be devastating. What do you mean? How is it you would like the federal government to respond?
There's been a process that has, for steel being dumped in Canada, that either the unions or the companies could put cases through and show how it was damaging our jobs or the companies. And so that's a big, long, slow process to go through. We need the government to start quickly reacting to all the steel that's coming into Canada, because it is harder for steel to go into the U.S. The next place is send it into Canada, and that is affecting our steel prices greatly in Canada.
So yeah, flooding the market, I suppose, with product that you are yourself producing, and that's becoming a problem. Am I understanding that right?
Yes.
Yeah. William Slater, the president of United Steelworkers Local 2724. I don't envy you in the position you're in right now, but best of luck to you and your colleagues. Thank you so much.
Thank you.